What's going on, everybody? It's David Palmer, the Leo King, and this is my show, Uncut Astrology, a weekly astrology report that takes off the mask, gets raw and real into the astrology. And this is for the week of May 27th through June the 2nd of 2015. Now, before I go into this horoscope, I gotta let you know that where I'm at personally, my chart is exactly being hit by this Mercury retrograde and Neptune energy we're in. So I am coming to you from the driftiest of all driftiest spots in the universe. I am coming to you straight from another dimension and a place that I don't even know where I'm at. And I really mean that. Just how I even got here to this horoscope today, I don't even know how it happened, but it somehow happened. And I think that a big lesson of this week to look at is, holy cow, we do not need to understand what is going on. Now, people watch horoscopes, we look into astrology, we get into divination tools, we use computers to figure things out in life. When you have a Mercury retrograde in its natural sign, squaring off Neptune in its natural sign, I'm telling you, there is no such thing as knowing. There is no such thing as having an answer. There is no such thing in feel like you've figured it out. And this week is all about realizing that it's okay that you haven't figured it out. Because Mercury and Mars are conjunct, which means that the universe or God is taking our minds on a little bit of a circus ride. I also like to say that it's taking the Lamborghini out and just spinning it out. Whenever you have, I was going to say a joyride. That was actually the better term. That our minds are on a joyride right now from the universe. And in the middle of a joyride, if you really think that you're going to have it all understood, or the seriousness of life figured out, or the understanding of why something's happening, not going to happen on a week like this. Mars and Mercury conjunct is very harsh in Gemini because it pushes the accelerator hard of the mind. It spins out thoughts. What? It gets lost with Neptune squaring it. What? We're going to spin it out and then we're going to spin over the ice of Antarctica. Woo, 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 woo. And when's it going to all get... It just... You have to see that Pisces and Gemini are duality signs. You are going to jump up and down, up and down, up and down. One twin's going to think it knows it. The other twin's going to say, no, I think I know it. One fish is going to be above water. The other fish is going to be underwater. Have you ever played Marco Polo? Marco Polo. The whole game is like, okay, and then I got to swim away. Marco, it's all over the place. I hope I probably sound like a crazy guy right now. But I think that that's what this is about. It's unveiling our inner crazy. It's unveiling our inner, strengths that we need to find with our mind. So it's toughening up our minds by putting it through crazy tests, by losing kind of it a little bit, by realizing that the second that this card tries to figure out a thought, oh yes, I'm figuring it out, I'm near the answer, just right when it's about to make a right turn, there's an ice patch, pulls you off. So right when you think this week you've figured it out, you're going to slip out and move into a direction that you didn't think. And so this week is not about thinking you have known it. I think I've made that very clear. We're going to have the Sun and Mercury conjunct this week because Mercury is coming backwards to conjunct. And I feel that all retrogrades are about this. All retrogrades are really about Mercury trying to conjoin with the Sun from a different point of view. And this is about a message this week. And this message this week is going to be one that I think is coming from some very odd places that we don't need to understand. Whether we want to call that aliens, whether we want to call that God, whether we want to call it angels, could be all of the above. There's a message this week, and it might be weird. and it might be out there, but that's okay. You know, this is a time to like allow the energy to be weird. The sun is in Gemini, gonna square Neptune this week. Our awareness really has to learn to kind of get lost. Sometimes spinning out in the middle of Antarctica and going around in circles finally drifts you and leaves you at a spot where you're supposed to be. You know, maybe, you know, I put a video on my Facebook a long time ago. It's like this Alaskan Eskimo guy who was hanging out in the middle of of some ice, and literally he was like laying down and he was overly fat and he was like, oh, and he was all drunk, like, I guess, and it actually wasn't even Antarctica or Alaska, it was a Russian. I guess like Russians get drunk and they fall asleep on, you know, frozen lake beds. What I'm getting at, and is already, this Uncut is so all over the place, but what I'm getting at is that we might just drift to this weird spot where we needed to be. Maybe we needed to find this random fish laying on the middle of the floor. Maybe you needed to spin into this random situation that might be odd and weird, but you needed it some way. The situation of me finding the crazy Russian drunk guy passed out on the lake bed was a good laugh at the time that I wanted to watch it. Does that make sense? I hope so. Jeez. The big thing this week is Venus in Cancer trine Chiron, which this means that through the craziness, there are very powerful relationship healing aspects happening. I know this because I'm seeing it all over the place. This is extremely, you know, where relationships can help you through it all right now. And we have to be there for each other. Chiron and Pisces and Venus and Cancer want to heal each other through helping each other out, being compassionate for each other. And with a North Node finishing here in Libra, it is all about the partnerships right now. There are people that are coming together, whether you got to fix a friendship, whether you got to fix a family relationship. This stuff needs to get done. So this week is might spin you out into a healed relationship, might spin you out into a relationship that helps you in crazy ways. That's what this week really comes towards. And what's this all building towards? Well, by the end of this week that we talk about, as we come into, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, we have a full moon in Sagittarius. And so I think what this is really building for is it's about to build our belief structure in a better place. That our beliefs are off. We might not know where we're going. We might not understand why we do. We might have beliefs telling us that we can't do things. And the facts and the mind and the understanding of life right now is being so utterly changed because I think the core lesson is beliefs. The core lesson is making sure that you realize that when the computer's broken, that if it spits out the wrong numbers and you believe them, guess where you're going? The wrong direction. This is where our higher knowledge has to take place. This is where our master part of our soul has to take over in our life, because we can get way too caught up in too many weird things. We can get way too caught up in too many fantasies. We can get way too caught up in being spun out on all these joyrides and taking our minds to these crazy places and then actually believing that that's what life is like. That life is like being in the corner holding on to the railing of the car and spinning out at 100 miles an hour, being like, ah. Life is not Mad Max, like that movie where cars are jumping and that's... Why do you think that movie came out in the middle of all this crap? Makes so much sense, right? We're all living in our own Mad Max mind story, and we cannot believe that that is maybe who we are fully, or that that's what we're going to experience by these crazy things. This is where the computer is off. This is where the cell phone, you know, I don't know if you guys have ever had it. I've been on cell phones before, and then out of nowhere, you'd be going, and you'll be like, what the heck just happened? You gotta call your friend back and be like, I don't know, the aliens were talking to us or something. That is happening in our minds. That is happening on life right now. That is happening in every situation that is happening. So I think the lesson with Pisces is to let go, to release, to kind of just go with the flow and wait for the, it to end and then call your friend back or whatever. Like in life, don't let the mind burn out or get too strong or get too much, and then you just kind of like, like take that as that's what's happening. Like let the burnout happen, let it all calm down, breathe, and then take a moment to go, okay, is that going to happen or not? Or am I kind of stuck believing in this crazy Mad Max, cars, in my mind, and crazy phone call, like the energy's just all over. We won't experience something like this, I don't want to say again, but trust me, this is a very rare moment this week. And yes, Mercury retrograde is coming to its halfway point. Always when Mercury and the Sun conjoin on the retrograde is kind of the halfway point. But this is the meat and potatoes of this retrograde right here, this week. So let it happen. This might bring up some really karmic relationship stuff with Venus and Chiron, Venus and Cancer, but it could be very good. So, but be careful of Neptune being deceived, losing yourself in these fantasies that you just, that probably can't come true. That's the negative of these transits, but I like to always focus on the positive and the spiritual evolution of things. So, I don't know how else that I, know how to do this. It's like, it is crazy. This is always when the circus goes crazy. I was actually telling my dad on the phone, like, yeah. He was like, what's this week going to be like? I'm feeling kind of, it's kind of crazy. And I'm like, oh, well, when you're at the circus and you're going to the circus, you're eating like a hot dog and you have a great day, and then you turn a corner and a Cardi's in your face going, hi, and you want to try a ride? And like, he's got a clown suit on. You're like, oh, no, I'm going to make another turn. Carnies are around. This is Carney time. You guys know about carnies? There are there are Cardolians around, but yeah, there are carnies around. There are carnies around in our mind that we got to deal with. Now, I'll be honest, I love a good carny in a positive way. I've had some amazing fun times at fairs and at circuses talking with carnies and having fun. And I know that's kind of a bad stigma name, but have you ever watched in Joe Dirt when the couple's like, why don't you have a clown? Like, smile, have a clown. They have all those clowns. We're in Clown Town now. And in Clown Town, I wouldn't take it all too seriously. I also wouldn't invest all your money or your energy or your time or anything into anything that comes out of this week. Let it just be the way that it's supposed to. Let it be the circus act that's supposed to happen. And then we'll talk next week on the full moon when we talk again. So I wish I can give you guys more, but I really think that this is the best way to describe this horoscope. Check out my daily readings. It's on my website, leoking.lookstack.com. If you want to find out more, do /landing to get the whole teaser and understanding of it. For $5.99 a month, you can watch me every day with an awesome horoscope and much more. Your sun sign horoscopes, daily notifications on your cell phone that way I send out based off the astrology. It's so awesome. I also do a new weekly intuitive reading on there. If you want all the readings, get them on leoking.lookstack.com. Thank you guys so much for all the support. I appreciate it so much. And on June 1st, you can download my monthly horoscope at inclusiveastrology.com. I love you guys very much, and I will see you on the next Uncut.